let's get back to the thing we can't get away from, the damn virus. Today there was yet more examples of how we have beaten the curve, about how we have flattened the curve, about how the numbers in Australia are a whole lot better than if we had done nothing. Social distancing is working, you know this. But what is really important to know here is a message that is coming from the Chief Medical Officer. The truth is that the marathon keeps going. That difficult thing that a lot of people are starting to work out is the marathon wasn't just getting to the point where we flattened the curve. The marathon stretches after that point. It stretches into winter. And the Chief Medical Officer said this today while telling the media in Canberra to get ready for that race.
Complacency is our biggest risk. We cannot be complacent. We cannot be complacent. We must not be complacent. We must hold our line.
So, premiers all over the country in their own way today said social distancing keeps going. The most extreme of them is Gladys Berejiklian in New South Wales, who says that social distancing will be part of our lives until there's a vaccine. Now, a vaccine is months away, maybe a year, maybe even 18 months away. Is it the type of social distancing that we practice when we go to the supermarket, which means we would get back to normal life, we just sort of have to stay away from each other? Or is it the social distancing that means you can't see your family this weekend? Because that's the social distancing the Prime Minister is talking about. Put simply, whatever you normally do at Easter is not going to be happening this year. If you normally find a way for the family to get together, you can't do it this year in person. You're going to have to do it over the internet. Put simply, Easter is cancelled.
This Easter weekend will be incredibly important. Stay at home. Failure to do so this weekend would completely undo everything we have achieved so far together, and potentially worse.
And there are those good-meaning, well-meaning people who say, let's get to the end of the tunnel as fast as possible, and then maybe we could fortify all of the old people, fortify all of the disabled people, the people who might have cancer or weakened immune systems. Let's make sure that they are fortified. Well, I want to show you the example of why that logic isn't quite where we can be right now. And in fact, it's actually impossible to do so. Channel 9 had a heartbreaking story of two sisters, both in their 20s, who have got degenerative disabilities. As this article goes on to show you, that social distancing is simply not an option for them, and many millions of Australians who have a disability that requires them to rely on support workers for their daily needs. While neither of the sisters has left the apartment in almost a month in a bid to protect themselves from the pandemic, around a dozen different carers come into their home every day. This is why you can't fortify. This is why it's a falsehood to say that you're able to pull up the drawbridge. We don't have a choice, Jamie Lee says. It's scary that we don't know if we've been exposed. While their carers are diligent with their hygiene, they said, and taking extra precautions because of the outbreak, basic precautions like staying 1.5 metres away are simply not possible. That's why it's a marathon. That's why the marathon keeps going. Because despite the fact that there are things we can do to lessen the frustration of this, I think we can find a way to quarantine and get football back. I think we can quarantine and get some sports, maybe some arts, back so we have things to do while we are at home. The idea that you're going to be going to the pub anytime soon, forget about it. Now, even though the curve may be flattened, think about those two girls. Think about those two women. Think about the fear that they have, that somebody who shows no symptoms whatsoever might end up handing something to them no matter how much they wash their hands. That's why you can't go out this Easter. That's why people are ridiculous when they turn up in their thousands at a beach. I hate the police state. I hate the idea that we are not living our normal life. But I am willing to continue to live the life that they are forcing upon us if it keeps those two girls alive.